Hi! Hello, darlings! Aren't we all missing each other? We're going to make a lovely Bulgarian thing that some of you have had called banitsa. And the recipe came from Apo's adorable grandma, Radka. Zdrasti, Radka. So it's basically a phyllo pastry thing. So what I'm doing right now is I'm melting some butter, because when you make phyllo pastry you have to like layer it with butter, and I'm going to also put in some olive oil and a bit of salt because we like our butter salty. So a tiny bit of, this is Himalayan pink salt, but you can use any normal salt you like. So this is just in a bowl over some water on the stove, really low. Okay, so that's going to melt. And in the meantime, I use about that much butter, by the way. In the meantime, I'm going to make the filling, which should be Bulgarian yogurt, but we've got Greek yogurt. Should be Bulgarian cheese, but we've got lovely Kurdish cheese from the lovely Kurdish people over the road. We've got some Bulgarian spices. These are actually bought in a spice market in Sofia. So it's ground fennel seeds, which is sminduch, and cherven piper, which is actually you can get it anywhere. I'd say it's just smoked pepper, smoked paprika, and we've got some sparkling water. We've got some eggs, hopefully from Happy Chickens. And we've got some phyllo pastry, some garlic, a nice pepper, chili pepper, a load of dill, and an onion. So I'm going to chop this onion. I've got my bowl ready. Put it in. Chop, 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 chop. And Apo is filming this. And this is one of his favourite things to eat. Apo loves banitsa, and it makes him all misty-eyed for his childhood in Sofia, doesn't it?
Indeed.
In all deeds, yay. So, oh, and by the way, of course I washed my hands a lot before I started cooking. Oh my lord, did I wash my hands? I washed my hands like a fury. Can you see how clean they are? And when I went to the supermarket, I kept my distance, and what else did I do? Oh yeah, I cycled around. And the air in Paris is amazingly fresh right now, with like hardly any cars or anything. Oh, like my lungs were going, thank you, Helen, what a blinking treat this is. Like, oh, and I had my bit of paper on me in case I got stopped by any cops. And my bit of paper, my attestation de déplacement. So, I've got a valid reason to be out, which was basically buying ingredients for banitsa and also cycling. So that, we can eat lots of banitsa and be stuck at home, but hopefully not turn into very obese people. So, yeah, we'll be doing our cooking. And once it's in the oven, I better heat the oven, hadn't I? We put the oven on to 200 degrees. Yeah. So our oven will be nice and preheated. And then once we've put our banitsa in it, we're going to have a bit of a dance so that we don't get too stir crazy and so on. And Apo's going to DJ us some lovely... Actually, I think that's too much onion. It was a very big onion. I'm just going to use half an onion. So the rest of my chopped onion I will put aside for a later date. Make something else probably with it, as one does. Use a nice onion chopped bowl. Woo! Okay. Not a later date. Obviously it'll be rotten by then. I don't want to get food poisoning on top of everything else. Oh, I sound like a hypochondriac. Okay, so we've got our chopped onion. Now... we will chop a chili. Yay! A lovely spicy chili, because the cherven piper, the smoked paprika, that's got a lovely sort of charcoaly flavour. But like we want to give it a bit of like, ooh, spiciness as well, like a proper kick, you know? So, when I chop my peppers, I take all the seeds out. And you know those seeds that get stuck to your pepper? You just hold it over the bin, tap it. Like that, and you're not going fiddle getting your seeds off for ages, because then that will like completely drive you round the bend, and you don't want that. You want to stay nice and sane in these days, don't you? Lovely and sane and clever and well fed, and you know, all the other things that we can only hope for in these uncertain times. So, look, no seeds. Oh, there's one. Oh, well, that wasn't bad. Okay, now I'm going to chop these up into long strips like that. Long strips. And boop, 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 boop. Long strips. Get them like that, and then bing, 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 bing. Don't cut any fingernails or fingers off, obviously. Curve your fingers back as you chop, because then you're less likely to have a horrible accident. Voila. Okay, in they go. So that was like about 2/3 of a fairly large pepper. So that goes in there. And then we will throw in some olive oil like that. Throw in some olive oil. Bing, bing. And then we take a couple. Oh, look, these eggs are white. Wow. Wow. I didn't realise that when I bought them. I hope it doesn't mean that the poor chickens have been badly treated. I mean, they look like nice white chickens in the fresh air. What do you reckon, Napo? Oh, it says œuf blanc. Look. Anyway, they don't have to be œuf blanc. They can be any colour.
Is there any difference?
I have no idea. Do you have œuf blanc in Bulgaria?
Yeah, I've seen them.
You do?
Of course.
Of course. Okay, so let's get these two little eggies.
But you don't know what the difference is.
I have no idea. I'm not an expert. Ha! Sorry. Oh my God. Apo, why didn't you laugh at my awful joke? Okay, right, so now we get a non-silver spoon to beat our eggs, because raw egg damages silver. Did you know that? Well, it does.
That's a very interesting info.
A fun fact. Okay. Fun fact for our friends who are confined. Don't be beating your eggs with your silver forks now. You know, things are bad enough. Okay, look, now we put the beaten white eggs in there. And we put that aside. We don't need that. And now what shall we do? I know, we'll crumble up the cheese. Now, remember, I said I did clean my hands, okay?
So, remind the viewers that it is a cheese equivalent to the feta. It's a feta cheese.
Exactly, it's a feta-style cheese. Yes. And look how nice and crumbly it is. So we get this and we go crumbly, crumbly, crumbly. Crumbly, 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 like that. Yum, 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 crumble, crumble. Yum, yum, crumble, crumble. Voila. It'll break up even. Apo, you want to eat some already, don't you?
I want to try some cheese to see what difference I could see with like the Greek or the Bulgarian one.
That's a very, very good point. Yeah. What do you think? What's the verdict? Is it decent? Will it do?
Yeah, definitely. It's a very good cheese.
Marvellous.
I think it's very similar to the Bulgarian one, so...
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
It's very, very similar to the Bulgarian one.
Okay, well, I'm delighted to know that. Oh, look, that's melted. We'll be able to do the really fun bit in a minute, which is sculptural. Doing things with phyllo pastry and then the filling and then making them into shapes like a swan. Should we try that? Should we try and make it into a really interesting shape? Because normally we just do it in a twirly.
I think that the twirly one is the best one.
The twirly one is the best one.
Yeah,
okay.
it's the best. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe when we're more
'Cause
advanced, one day we'll make it shaped like a swan.
Because the twirly shape, you get a really good like balance of things.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is the sminduk.
The sminduk, which is ground fennel seeds, and I'm sure you can get it in pretty much everywhere in Europe. So I'm going to put about a spoonful of that because I love it. And then the czerwen piper, which is my hand's too wet, I can't undo the jar, is
It's
smoked.
It literally translates red pepper.
But it's smoky tasting.
Yeah.
So it's like much more special than
So
that.
you have black pepper, and this is what we call red pepper.
Exactly. Now I'm also going to put in a little bit of Himalayan salt. Obviously you can use any salt, but I just like this because it's pink. So I just put in a little sprinkle of that. Oh, and the garlic. We can't forget the garlic. That would be absolute blasphemy and heresy and all the things you're not allowed to do. I think they should be out there arresting people who don't eat garlic.
Now show us how you squeeze the garlic to get the skin
okay.
off.
Yeah. Oh, this is my little trick. I think probably a lot of people do this anyway. But I cut the ends off, each end, and then I squash it. Oh, it didn't work then. Hang on. Oh, yes, it did. Yeah. So if you squash the garlic under the flat side of your knife, the skin comes off far easier. Because if you're there going, oh, peely, and you're going nuts, well, you shouldn't have to be wasting your life doing that, should you? Because, you've got tons of things to do, especially while you're stuck in on lockdown. There we go. See, I squashed that, and now the skin's already all come off. Someone once gave me a garlic peeler. In fact, I won it as a prize at a fancy dress party in Belleville. How French, eh? Getting a garlic peeler as a fancy dress prize. But I've actually never used it because this is quicker. It's much quicker. So voila. Now, so what do we think, Apo? Are 3 cloves of garlic enough, or will you riot?
I think these 3 cloves of garlic look good. They are quite big. They are quite thick.
They're nice and juicy as well. They're not dry.
And it's indeed a very, very juicy garlic. You can see on the camera that I can bend it. I can bend the clove, which means it's super juicy.
Yes. Okay, now let's chop the garlic. I don't use a garlic press because I can't be arsed to clean them afterwards.
They are very annoying to clean.
It all gets stuck in the holes, doesn't it? It's a bloody nightmare. But if you bash them before you chop them to make the skin come off easier, then it also has the effect of squashing the garlic and making the juice sort of a bit more juicy and released, doesn't it? So I'm chopping this. Again, I'm keeping my fingers well out of chopping distance, and it doesn't have to be chopped tiny. It can be just chopped, chop, and because who doesn't like a nice big chunk of garlic getting stuck in their teeth, eh? And then going around and breathing all over the walls as you continue being locked into your house.
I cannot understand people who complain about garlic smell. I think it's a wonderful smell.
It is an odour of paradise. Indeed. In all deeds. Okay, so we put the garlic in. And oh, look at our lovely pile of ingredients. How lovely and colourful it is. Right, okay, 1 more clove. How many cloves did we put in there altogether? I think it was 4. Or was it 5?
It looked like 4.
I think it might have been 5. I think I snuck an extra one in while you were talking about something else. So
anyway. As a fun fact, you should know that talking about garlic, it was the main diet of slaves in Egypt. So you can imagine the smell on the construction sites in ancient Egypt.
Wow! What the people building the pyramids ate nothing but garlic?
Yeah, they mostly eat garlic. Yeah,
Wow.
it was food for the poor.
Okay. I did hear though that a lot of the pyramid builders were not slaves; that they were actually pretty well looked after, and they were like honourable. Like it was an honourable profession that they were paid, and they were like they had all their medical care. You know, they treated lots of things with honey, by the way, because they found all these mummies of buried Egyptian labourers, and they said how well they were and how fit they were. They doubted that they were slaves, and it was probably the garlic as well, keeping them so healthy, wasn't it? Right. Now I've got some dill here, and I've washed it very, very thoroughly. So look at this nice. I'm going to just sort of chop off that much, and then I'm going to give it a big old. I'm just going to big lump of it together so I can really go chop, 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 chop. Again with the fingers out the way, trying not to get too much of it all over the air and in my hair and on the floor and all that. Voila. Okay. Oh, I would really like to have one of those rocky choppers, those things that you go like that, like a big curved blade with a handle each end. But I have this thing which is called the sharpest knife in the world. So I don't know if it is the sharpest knife in the world, but it does its job and you don't have to actually sharpen it. I got it from a demonstration in Selfridges once, years ago, when I lived in London. It was like the most hilarious man demonstrating it. He had the air of a Baptist preacher, but he was like going on about his lovely vegetable chopping. He was obsessed. Okay, so now we're gonna put in some Greek yogurt. Oh, I put in the eggs, didn't I? Oh, I tell you what, I should really start mixing it up already. Okay, boom, 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 with a fork. Again, still a metal fork. Don't use your silver forks for this. Okay. Boom, boom, boom.
You know silver is a metal, right?
Absolutely. Oh God, I sound so thick. Anyway, yes, I do know silver is a metal, but stainless steel does not get discoloured with raw egg, whereas silver apparently does. So I haven't tested it out because I wouldn't dare ruin. Voila. Okay, so this is a big pot of yogurt. This is how many? 500 grams. In it goes. In it goes. Right. Voila. Just put that there for a minute. And then here it goes. I think this is everything, isn't it? This is a really good idea to put everything out there because then you can see if you've forgotten anything or not. Okay, so this gets all stirred. And then, and this is the really, really surprising ingredient that I didn't think that it made sense to me, but then thinking about it later. Oh, as well, lemon juice, or in this case, lime juice, okay? So this is half a lime, which was partly squeezed earlier by Apo, but we'll just give it a squoosh like that. Woo-hoo. There we go. It can be lemon or lime, doesn't matter. And then, now this is the surprising ingredient that I was on about, is fizzy water. You put in a big splosh of fizzy water, probably about that much of the bottle. Voila, is that? Yeah, a bit more. And then you stir it all round.
Can you explain what does the fizzy water do?
It's because of the soda. Because when you cook it, when it comes out of the oven, you'll see that it sort of puffs up a bit. Well, that is the interaction between the yogurt and the soda and the lemon juice. It has a sort of effet gonflant, a puffing effect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's
yes,
clever.
it does. Yes, yes.
Okay. So that's our thing. Oh, and what else we're going to put in? We have something that I did earlier. I roasted some cherry tomatoes in balsamic vinegar, cayenne pepper and salt. And here they are. They're nice roasted tomatoes, roasted cherry tomatoes. So, we're going to, actually I put some of them, I put some of them on it when I've cooked it, but let's put a few in now.
I hope that wasn't heard by the camera. It's the perks of being confined.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put some of these in now anyway, these cherry tomatoes, but I'm gonna save the others to like put on top as a garnish, and then it'll be fabulous. But can you see they've, because they've been roasted with balsamic vinegar, they've sort of made this lovely, this lovely, yeah, don't burn your hands on things, this lovely sort of sauce, which is super yum. Okay, gonna put that to one side. And now, this is the sculptural bit. Yay! We're gonna be doing sculptures. So, we get our, we'll try and make a bit of space. This is obviously a very, very tiny Paris kitchen, so I don't have like a ton of space, but it's doable. We improvise, do we not? Yes. Okay. So we get our phyllo pastry. This is actually from a packet that I've already eaten half of it. So there's not an awful lot there. Normally you get a lot more in these, but there's enough for our purposes. We're making a nice banitsa for us today. So I lay it out on the greaseproof paper that it actually comes in. Obviously, if it doesn't come in that when you buy it, you can just, you know, put more on it. And then, I get my pastry brush. I'm going to put this out of the way. Voila. In my recycling, I've got my pastry brush and I stir it round. Actually, I can turn that off now. The butter's melted enough. And remember, it was butter with a little splash of olive oil and a bit of salt. Oh, and I'm also going to put pepper in it. A few grinds of black pepper. Voila. Okay. Woo! There we go.
Beautiful.
Now, when we brush it on the phyllo pastry, we put it like in the middle and then sort of spread it out a bit. Very, very thin. Not putting the whole lot on, really. Just, you know, boom, boom, boom. And we don't have to be too neurotic about this. In fact, we should never be neurotic about anything when we cook, because that like defeats the object and makes it no fun at all. Okay. So, woo! That should stay nice and flat. Flat, flat, flat. And then we put it like that. So we've got like a double sheet. Doesn't matter if it's crinkled. All the more artistic, I say. Ha ha. Okay. Now, we need a dish to put it in once it's ready. I think we'll use a round dish. Okay, so we've got this round dish here, and we're gonna just rub a bit of butter and a bit of, I can do it with this actually, can't I? Ha-ha. Voila. So we've got, our dish is nice and slippy, so the pastry won't stick to it. Now, our filling. There it is. We put a splodge. Actually, I should be using a spoon for this, shouldn't I? Yeah, a splodge of that. So like it's kind of like, you know, a little road of filling along the middle. A little bumpy road. Oh, it's so metaphorical. Right. So now we fold it like so. Ooh. Just gonna put that there so it sticks.
You folded 2 leaves of phyllo pastry, right?
Yeah.
2 leaves, not
Yeah.
one.
And also, I just do that so it's like going to be nice and sort of buttery all the way through. And then, okay, we're not going to do the swan today. We're just going to do, we start putting it round here like that. So that's the first one. Okay, and carry on. Okay, you can pause it, and then once we've got it all together, we'll film some more. Yeah.
All right.